Hello guys, welcome back to this IQ option automation series. In this video, we will be creating expiry timestamp for digital option, binary option and turbo option. Whenever we are placing option trading, along with order data, we need to specify the expiry time. And this expiry time is displayed as hour and minute in the platform, right? It looks like this and it also displays the remaining second, but behind the scene this date or expiry time or viable time is created it's converted to timestamp and sent to the server for the processing. So we will do exactly that in this video. Now let's get started. For time being, let's start on a new dummy folder for timing, and we need to import this class from version 2. So version 2 is the latest code and it contains refactor code, right? Let's actually instantiate it. Okay, next thing that we need to have is we need to have current date time timestamp, and we can get that using WebSocket. Now let me show you. This algobot has a WebSocket object and this has start WebSocket, right? Let's make sure we are printing incoming message. So we are printing incoming message and run the script. So along with order data we will get time sync message, and this contains the server date time now, right? Okay, so this is how it looks. Okay, so this is how it looks, and we're getting none because this function WebSocket function does not return anything, right? So that's okay. So instead of using static value, what we can do is we have this thing called just a moment. So we have this thing called message handler, and this message handler it stores all the incoming messages, right? So we can directly get that time sync message. So let's store this in a variable called timestamp, and this is going to be from algobot message manager object has time sync or server time, right? And let's print it just to make sure just to ensure that we are getting the time sync, right? Okay, so we are getting the time sync message right now. Okay, just a moment, let's copy this is the latest time, right? So what we can do is actually do this. We can convert this time sync to standard date time like this. For that, first we need to import date time from date time, right? And then this can be date time dot, it has a method called from. Okay, so we have a small issue here. Okay, so this needs to be from datetime, import datetime, and this datetime has from timestamp. My bad, from timestamp method, and we can actually pass this timestamp there and see what we are going to get. Okay, so we are getting the error and says invalid argument. Oh, okay, I see. The problem is this timestamp, it contains millisecond data as well, so we need to get rid of millisecond, and we can do that by subtracting from 1000. Okay, this time we must be able to see standard date time. Okay, so here is how it looks, right? uh, Actually, let's uncomment this print message for incoming message, right? So this is coming from WebSocket. Now let's comment out this line, right? And now the date time looks like this. So next thing that we need to do is actually get rid of second and millisecond, and for that let's store this thing in a variable called date or now date. Okay, and now date is going to contain this exactly as we are printing like this, right? So let's cut and paste it here. Okay, and actually we uh, can print it this way, uh, just to know like the current date time, right? So you can get the current date time, and like I mentioned, we need to get rid of this second and millisecond. Okay, so it prints this way, right? Now let's get rid of this second and millisecond. For that, what we can do is actually it's gonna be same thing, right? We are going to value from this time it will contain hour and minute, not excluding second and millisecond, right? So for that, what we can do is actually this now date, which is a date time object, now has a method called replace, and it has couple of arguments. So first gonna be second, set this to 0, and also millisecond. Just a moment. Oh, my bad. Millisecond also set to 0. Okay, now let's see how this looks. Okay, so before it looked this, right? Now it looks this, right? It looks cleaner. Okay, so the next thing that we need to do is actually we need to check if less than 60-second expiry is available or not, because most of us use 1 minute expiry, right? And these often are less than 60-second expiry, right? So in order to make trade, we need to have like at least 30 second, right? So that means when we are placing the trade, there must be at least 30 second left for the very next minute to happen, right? So we need to check that if less than 60 second expiry is available or not. If available, next minute can be our expiry, right? And if not available, next minute plus 1 minute gonna be our expiry for 1 minute. Okay, so now for that, what we need to do is actually we can use this call now date, right? Now date and this, and then let's do time delta. Actually we need to import time delta. We need to import time delta, and now time delta, so 1. So what we are doing here is we are adding 1 to current date time. So in like now it's 2:07, right? When we do this, it becomes 2:08. Okay, okay, and after that, what we can do is actually now this is a datetime object, right? So this has a method called timestamp, and timestamp converts it so it converts standard date time to timestamp like the one we are getting from the WebSocket timesync, right? The only exception is that the timesync from WebSocket contains like 14 or 15 digits, because it also contains millisecond, but this thing does not contain milliseconds. So that's the only difference. Now you can do this timestamp. So what this will do is this will get the second difference between date time now, or time now minus time now plus 1. Okay, I will print so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so it's getting us 6.41 second, right? This means expiry for 208, before it was 28, right? So expiry for 208 is not available. You see, when we got that time sync message, it was already 208:53 second, right? So that means expiry for 54 208:54 is not available because there is only 6 seconds left. But we need to have at least 30 seconds in order to have like latest time as our expiry, right? So this is what we are checking. So next. Okay, so this function is working as expected. Now we can actually use logical block if available, and this if this is greater than or equal to 31 second. Okay, so this 31 is a second, or if you like you can also use it as a trace as a variable, but we don't need to use this as variable because this is going to be used in only one place, right? So if available, right, if the very next minute is available as expiry, now let's create expiration, and this is going to be exactly same as this. Okay, so this is going to be exactly same as this, so it will look like this, right? If available, so the very next minute is going to be our expiry. Okay, and if not available, this needs to be, expiration needs to be this, right? Same thing, but with the time delta 1 minute 1 it's not available, so we need to do time delta my minutes equals to 2. This is what we need to do. Okay, now actually let's print this expiration case and see how it looks. So we are printing the server time datetime dot now and our expiration time as well, right? And let's see how it looks. So it looks like this. So current time is hour 02 minute 11 and second 46, means expiry for 02:02 is not available, right? So the expiry needs to be 013, and you can see here 02:013, right? So this is our expiry. Just a moment. So now 15 seconds is remaining, so this 13 second must be available for us now, right? So this expiry is available. Just a moment. Okay, now this 13 expiry is not available, so it should get us 214 as next expiry, and it does the exactly same. Now this is limited in terms that this is getting us expiry for 1 minute expiration only, right? What if we want to get expiration for 2 minute or more, 2 3 4 5 10 15 25 minute expiration, right? Now we need to add features to get expiration time for expiration with 2 or more, right? 2 or more minutes. So for that actually let's create a function. So we need to put this as function later on, right? So we will be using this as a utilities function. So now, so let's define, let's already define it as a function, and let's say I'm going to name it as get expiration. I think this will be okay, right? And first thing, obviously this going to accept timestamp, this need to accept timestamp, right? and next thing is the duration or our expiry time. So expiry, right? So this is how it looks. Let's indent, and this time stamp needs to be this can actually be float, right? But it's usually it's a int, right, returned by server. So I'm going to use it as int, and this is also gonna be int, and this actually returns something called datetime dot actually dt dot timestamp. Okay, let's leave it for time being, right? Now so timestamp, right? Actually we need to get rid of this thing, so let's place this here at the top, right, just above this function, right? And expiration int, let's set 1 minute by default, right? So this is definitely going to be the first thing, and this is what we are doing, is actually converting millisecond to converting millisecond timestamp to second, right? And then we create a datetime object. So this is here we are creating datetime object from timestamp, and just below that here we are actually doing round down, right, to get rid of minute and seconds, right? Okay, and here we are actually calculating expirations, right? So here we are calculating expiration. So far so good. What needs to be done now? What needs to be done is write a logical block like this: if expiry equals to 1, right? These are going to be inside this block, and if expiry is other than 1 minute, we need to write another block, and let's leave it empty for now. First we will test this function. Okay, that's what we will do. Okay, and now let's return, instead of printing it here, let's return this expiration, right? And since this is a date time, it has this thing timestamp, right? So it returns timestamp. Now actually let's invoke this function and we can print it, since it returns the expiration timestamp, right? So this is our function name, get expiration, right? And we need to pass timestamp, and expiry for now let's pass as 1, even though we are defining 1 as a default value, right? Okay, so we are getting this timestamp, right? Let's actually instead of this, let's print expiration as let's store this value returned from this function to this, and here for first we will print this timestamp, and second actually we will convert this back to date time, standard date time, just to ensure that it's working. So for that, what needs to be done is datetime dot from timestamp, right, and pass this expiration timestamp. This is expiration timestamp. Let's see how it looks. So the time now is 2:18, and also expiration is available as of now, but is it available? Okay, so available or not? So okay, so 1+ minute expiration is available for 1 minute expiry, right? So 220 working. So this timestamp is, and converted to standard date time, it looks like this. This means it's working, as expected, right? So far so good. Now we need to add features to calculate this thing, and this is quite easy. All we have to do is actually copy this one, right, paste it here, and instead of hard coded value we need to pass expiry time, right? So this expiry variable and this expiry variable or argument will like will be passed on this function invocation, and this will contain expiration time, right? Now instead of one, let's say I want to get uh, 3 minute expiry or 5 minute. Okay, so I want to now get me the 5 minute expiration time. So what will be the 5 minute expiry from now? Okay, it says the 5 minute expiry will expire at 0224. Now let's go to the platform, and for 5 minute the expiry is, okay, this looks bit different. Just a moment, let's see why we're getting the difference. I think we need to add one more validation for this expiration. More than 1 minute expiration, right? It's not working as expected. So I think we need to do more than this. This is simple and it has its limitation. It says expiry at 2:30 for 3 minute. For 3 minute gonna be 1 2 3. It needs to be 31, not 2:30. Okay, so we have like some glitch or limitation. So actually let's do one thing. uh, let's define a variable. Actually now we need to define a variable, so let's define a variable like this, and I'm going to define it here at the top, just above it. So we need at least 31 second, right? So for 1 minute and other expiry, other minute expiry as well. Okay, so let's get rid of this. Now use this variable. Okay, and here also what we need to do is we need to check if current candle to close has more than 31 second or not, right? So if it has like more than 31 second, we can count current candle as like we can also count current candle with other like we can also incorporate current candle in the specific expiration, right? Otherwise we will exclude that and actually uh, do +1 to get to another expired. Okay, so here what we need to do is actually same like this time. What we need to do is copy this one. Let's copy this one. Let's copy this one, and oh, okay, just a moment. Actually can use this one, right? So next expiry. Okay, my bad. So this needs to be now date plus time delta. Yeah, this needs to be this. Okay, exactly as this, because we need to check expiry for current candle, like how many second is remaining to expire this candle, and then do quite similar to this, right? It's gonna be this. We need to actually create timestamp from this datetime object, timestamp, right? And then let's store it in a variable called time until next expiry, right? Or okay, fine. And next, let's check if there is enough time or more than 30 seconds remaining for current candle or not. So if time until expiry is less than, my bad, less, oh my bad, it's less than minimum required second. This means what we need to do is actually uh, do this. So this is going to be, this is what needs to be done, right? Just a moment. Okay, so this do this, right? It checks for the difference. Sorry, if it's less than minimum time needed, do this expiry plus 1, right? Otherwise can be this. Okay, otherwise expiration can be this, right? And if not, if this condition does not meet, expiration, okay, this expiration plus 1, this is how it's going to be, and then return that one. Okay, this time it must work. Okay, so I just we just added this. Okay, okay, so we just added this validation that validates if, like, that validates expiry second remaining for current candle. Okay, so it says for 3 seconds the expiry is at 2:36. Let's see if it's at 2:36 or not. Okay, so it's 2:36, right? Let's test it multiple times. Okay, now it says expiry for 3-minute expiry is at 2:37. My bad, why is this happening? 3, right? And here what we're doing is expiry dot one. Oh, okay, okay, the problem lies here. So we are doing this in the both like outside and inside this block. I'll just make it larger, and here you can see the problem lies here, right? So doing the same thing in the both place, right? Here it should be just that, right? This time it must be okay. So that was the issue. Run it. So the expiry for next 3 minutes is 1 2 3 is 2:41. Okay, getting 2:41. Run it again. Run. Okay, still getting 2:41. Run it again. This time it must be 2:42, right? Okay, 2:42. I will keep running, okay, just to ensure it's working. Okay, 2:42. Run it again. Right here, 2:42 for 3-minute expiry, right? Okay, so we're getting 2:42. This means it's working. Now let's try 1 minute. Now let's try all of the available minutes here. Okay, so 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Okay, so we will test all these expiration timestamp generations. So 240 says 240, fine. Okay, now it must be 2:41, right, for 1 minute expiry. So the remaining time is 1 minute and 20 seconds. The expiry must be 241. Okay, 241 fine. For 2 minutes, this must be 242. Okay, 242, right? And how about 5 minutes? For 5 minutes, it's 245. Okay, so 245, right? How about, so it says 4 minutes. Okay, so how about, let's get the expiration for 10 minutes. 10 minutes. It says 251 and it's 251. Perfect. So it's working as expected. Now what we need to do is actually let's get rid of this thing. This was for debugging purpose, right? Keep the comment as it will help us later on, right? When we revisit this function, right, it will be useful in those cases. So expiration, this is what we are doing. I'll keep spaces, okay, just to make it easier to read. All looks good. Now we are keeping this in demo, right, a demo file. Now let's move this to utilities.py. Okay, so can move this to Control X and move this to utilities.py. We have this get timestamp already, right, and paste it here. DateTime, time delta already using, and now we can actually import this from version 2 dot utilities import get expiration, right? Let's run it one last time to ensure it's working. So we are trying to get expiration for 10-minute expiry, and it says for 10-minute expiry the expiration time is 2:53. So it says 2:53 here as well, right? So perfect, it looks good. All looks good. Right now we can safely delete this folder, right, and we can use this get expiration function anywhere in the program. Actually we will use this in the next tutorial, where we will actually write function to place digital option, and we will also place digital option trade, and this function that we just wrote in this video will be most used in that like digital option functionality. Okay, so this I think we are done for this tutorial, right? All looks good. So we have now get expiration in utilities. We can import this anywhere in the program, right? Thank you for listening. See you in the next video.